pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
How is everybody on this beautiful sunny day? Not too hot. Let's start with our minutes. For approval of the minutes or changes.
Make a motion. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Our first resolution authorizing budget modification, Department of Social Services to purchase an enterprise content management system and related equipment. Might we look for a motion to discuss?
Motion to discuss. Second.
You're on.
So, since we've been starting to look at leaning out some of our processes, for you specifically, the eligibility service under services, we've noted that there are a number of programs within our building that still don't have their records digitized. And for 4E in particular, the way that the records have to be organized specifically is really challenging for them to maintain all of their file jackets in appropriate order. They then take these file jackets and they have to scan them, and then they send them to the state for audit anyway. So there's no real reason why we need to maintain them in paper form in the first place. So that led us to looking at child care records and child care timesheets, adoption records, other records that just require a simple filing structure, not anything like Northwoods. Doesn't have to have a case management function or anything at all. We talked with Greg Howland, and he let us know that the county clerk and I believe the treasurer's office are using Laserfiche already for general code. They're under state contract. So we asked them to put together a proposal for us to take care of those areas within the building that don't have access to a repository for digital records, so that we can affect that. Once we're able to get that done, then essentially we'll be a paperless, quote unquote paperless building within the Department of Social Services, which I think will really help with retention of records, improving security of them. It'll free up floor space with all the millions of file cabinets and rolling files we have on our floor, and save staff a lot of time in searching for and retrieving the records that they need. We can also run reports to purge when it's time to purge them for those that we can, rather than having to physically go drag out files to make sure we have the correct ones.
How many years are we mandated to keep files now? Is
It
there,
depends on the program.
okay.
So for assistance programs related records, it's 6 to 7 years. For finance records, it's 7 years. For adoption records, it's permanent.
So, do we, is that optional? I mean, do we automatically attempt to purge after 7 years on those shorter ones?
That you can build it in so that it'll show up on a report when we run it, and then we can.
And that will happen in the
we'll
digital
verify
world
that all
as
of those
well.
records are in fact ready to be purged, and then we can just purge it.
Other questions?
Will you have to keep the paper records as well?
No.
So once you digitize them, paper can go.
Right.
And then you'll just purge the digital records and
There may be
statutory
some
time.
specific records that we have to keep, like an original birth certificate or something like that. Or if there's, for example, a letter from a bio parent to a child that's adopted, we wouldn't necessarily want to destroy that if it's something that the child comes looking for later, if the bio parent not going to have it. But they would be very few and far between.
Okay, very good, thank you.
So you don't currently have a system that flags it at 7 years, that's a manual operation.
We can run a report from our systems and records
Okay.
for most things, but then we have to go physically pull them, and then you're shuffling folders to refile in the next batch.
So we're going through this now, we're probably halfway through it. We were paying Iron Mountain $100,000 a year. And you send my load back about every other month to do this. The program that we have, we don't pay any kind of a retrieval fee. Is this yours from this point forward? You're not paying a company, and if you want to pull records back, they're charging you even though it's digital.
No.
So are you utilizing the cloud on this?
No, well, it's on a virtual server through IT,
Okay,
so,
so it's through the county
right.
IT, okay.
We pay an annual support fee, so if we have problems with the system, we can get that problem managed for us.
With IT,
No, with this company,
with that
but
company.
it's like $8,000 a year.
Yeah, you had that 8,100.
Yeah.
It's in the memo.
It's minimal.
Why is our IT department not capable of doing that? We're not paying anybody for our system.
Right.
We bought the system and we don't pay anybody for maintenance on that. We have an IT department that does the troubleshooting for us.
They would have to be pretty expert in the laser vision on the system
Okay,
in order to be able to.
so type of system that you're running.
Right.
Okay,
It's like any, on base, any kind of tech repository system.
well, I will tell you, it's about time.
Yeah, I think
It's
it's.
been pushing for it for years with us, got going, and it's amazing,
Yeah.
the difference. So,
Any other discussion? Tim, your question was? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah, I look forward to a report on that down the road. HS2 is a resolution authorizing reclassification of 5 positions in the Department of Social Services. I look for a motion.
Make a motion for discussion.
Second.
Okay.
Okay, so back in February of 2020, we brought forward one of our clerk vacancies to reclass to typist. Because at that time, the civil service tests had become exactly the same for the 2 positions. So there's no longer a typing speed or performance test. So the typist and the clerks take exactly the same exam. We wanted at that time to upgrade all of those clerk positions to typist because our clerks often will have to do some work that's in the typist title rather than a clerk. Now at this point, because we're having such difficulty attracting support staff to the county and keeping them, it's even more important for us to be able to kind of level that playing field with all the support titles, so we can have all typists. That way we can reassign duties without having to worry about, am I asking for clerks to do things that are out of their title? Because a clerk is a level 1, which starts at $13.06 an hour. A typist is a grade 3 that earns the starting wage of $14.12.
I thought we kind of just went through a time though where we were finding it hard to keep typists because of that. What you
Clerks are 2 grades lower than that.
So you're reclassifying existing people. Are any of them vacant now?
4 of them are vacant now because they were promoted into the typist lines that were vacant prior.
So,
And we have 1 remaining, but she's eligible for a title change to typist.
do you foresee any more changes of the typists to the community service workers that we've already?
In the assistance programs, I don't see that right now. Community service worker title, we don't have any list for that right now either. So we're doing a lot of provisional hiring for anybody that we're able to get. Now I'm considering trying to fill a part-time line with 2 part-time people, just so that we can get people in to actually get the work moving. I think once civil service starts to catch up and we have more tests coming, we may have more candidates available, but as it stands right now, we don't.
Other questions? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
So I wanted to point out one thing with that before we, there was an error in the memo.
Research.
Okay.
I don't have my copy of it. I'll have to get that to Chanel.
Was it a number,
Wait a minute.
a value, like the local share increase or something?
It is in the final paragraph of the summary. So the increase in annual wages would be 1120,
Okay.
and not 1617.
But the local share is the same.
The local share is 208.
Oh, okay, so it's marginal and it's lower.
200 and what?
208.
Okay. Thank you for pointing that out. HS3 is resolution authorizing the creation of one temporary position in the Department of Social Services. Look for a motion on that.
Move to discuss.
Second.
Okay. So this temporary position is a senior accountant position, which is intended to be an understudy, if you will, designed to work with Bill Martin, who has been the only accounting person assigned to employment and training budget for a long, long time, and a good 20 years at least. He is intending to retire this March, so we're looking to put somebody in December of this year, and then continue that temporary position for January, February, March of 2022. Then the temporary position will go away when Bill retires, and the new person will assume that position.
Questions? Sounds like a good idea to me.
Good.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. HS4 is a resolution authorizing budget modification of social services to move code blue funds to the care funding allocation line. Look for a motion.
Motion to discuss.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the state requested that Veronica put these funding sources together on one line. You know, they all have to be claimed through the grants gateway, and through that whole system in order to be able to be claimed, so they wanted that all put together. It doesn't change the budget allocation,
So it's just a
just moves it from one.
bookkeeping issue.
It is a booking issue that's kind of state directed. We were told initially to put it in this one, now we're told we have to put it in this one.
Okay, any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. HS5 is resolution authorizing budget modification. Youth Bureau, additional New York State Youth Aid Development. Look for a motion.
Motion. Second.
You guys are in a race today.
We are.
Go ahead, Brian.
So when we did the budget last year, we were cautious that, the state had 20% withholdings and such, so we took the money that we had received the year before and we reduced it by 20% for our budget. So this would be to restore the lines to the amount, which is the full amount with the 20% net reduction.
Okay, straightforward. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That was easy. Just 6 is a resolution authorizing budget modification for Youth Bureau, additional New York State Aid Department Rec. Look for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Oh, Go ahead, Brett.
Same thing, so this would be with our Parks and Rec money for the exact same scenario.
Okay, any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Here, yeah. Okay. HS7, resolution authorizing County of Oswego to accept the donation of the climbing tower wall, multi-use playground structure, and a new swing set from Friends of Camp Hollis.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second.
All right, so Friends of Camp Hollis approached us recently and let us know that they had reached their milestone of having the funding available to replace the playground at Camp Hollis, which we don't even have a start date for. We anticipate some of it has been there, forever. So they had got together with Zach a little bit to talk about the needs for what's there. This past Friday, we went to visit the Arise farm to look at their playground, to get some ideas of what it is. Funding costs a little bit more for the playground they have at Arise. Not looking to do that, but with this donation, this would be 100% donated. There would be no local costs associated with it. Some of the construction piece, as for the playground, it's any of those. A lot of times when you order those, they come delivery, you assemble. We have talked to B&G a little bit about it. They're willing to assist in the areas where they can. Anything that needs to go into the ground, be secured or anything to that way, they feel they can handle. And we would look to reach out to whomever to do some of the other assembly for the playground structure piece of it. The climbing tower, which is a separate purchase, that's a little bit more complicated. We do have information that Zach was able to get from the gentleman who would be involved in that. I'll let you know more than I do.
Yeah.
Describe him.
Gentleman Bill Montel, he's the gentleman who inspects our ropes course, our low and our high ropes course every year. He also builds ropes course and high ropes elements. He would be on board to build that, and then with that, National Grid donated the poles as the structure piece of that, which they donated. They're going to set in the ground for us, and he's on the docket to build that for us. So he's out of Amarillo, Texas, so it's kind of coming through. It's kind of limited to August, September, so it could be something that's happens this fall or next spring, depending on how we want to go with that.
So as you'll see, they are 3 different phases. That was the original thought of Friends of Camp House when they did it. To push them over the top, they did get a grant from the Shinneman Association. Shinneman would like to see this happen in 2021 if possible. That would be like the playground piece of it, which is the swing set and the multi-purpose playground. That's where Shinneman's money is involved in this process. So with that being said, one of the reasons why, and I apologize for getting this to you last minute, is with just being informed about this less than 2 weeks ago, right after the deadline to submit, there is a 10-week order delay, whatever you want to call it, for them to order to then ship. So if we were to get this passed through within this meeting structure, it would still be looking at October as the earliest start time for something like this to be done.
Will this have to go to the floor, Phil? Chanel, did I already ask for a motion on this?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Questions for Brian? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Since we've got someone new here who I don't know, I made the mistake of not doing introductions at the beginning of the meeting, so I'll just start myself. I'm Retrieval. I'm chair of the Food Services Committee, legislator from Conjugate.
This is Matias Garcia. Matias is with the VSA. He's going to be standing in for Jay over Washington. And Matias and I know each other. So.
Right.
Sarah Sunday, Director of the Office for the Agent. Marty Badger, Deputy Editor.
I'm Tim Stahl, legislator from the town of Oswego.
Brian Chetney, Youth Bureau, Parks and Rec, Executive Director. Zach Wood, Youth Bureau, Parks and Recreation.
Rich Mitchell, County Attorney.
So far as Becky Clerk.
Fred Bearden, County Legislator, District 2.
Jim Karasik, County Legislator for the City of Fulton, Park Rand.
Phil Church, County Administrator. And again, Matias Garcia. So I'll be stepping in for Jean since she's out.
Okay, so we'll start with reports. Office of the Agent, Sarah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to, I shared with all of you an informational memo on the home delivered meals, or the meals program that's home delivered as well as grab and go at the dining centers. I had stated after we got to halfway through the year, we would update where we stood with the number of meals that we've been providing to make sure we're on track to be covered with the amount that we budgeted for it. And we're looking to be in great shape. Our home delivered meal numbers have dropped off some. We've been pretty steady with the grab and go meals at the Conjugate site. The last couple of years, the last half of the year, the numbers have gone up more than what we're looking at for average right now. But I still do think that within the budget, with the additional HDC 5 funding that we received, that we will be able to cover all the expenditures for the meals. Our contributions are still up, so if we do get to a point where we're getting to the level where it looks like we're going to be going over, the additional contributions that we receive will cover that additional cost. On average right now, we're providing 22,614 meals, and that's again both home delivered and the grab and go meals at the Conjugate site. So I just wanted to update you that that we're in good shape. But I don't see any foreseeable reason to have to curb how we're providing meals right now to our people who are requesting them to be delivered. Does anyone have any questions on that at all?
No, it's impressive.
I will move right on then to our regular updates. So we received our farmer market coupons, as I reported at the last meeting. We received 800 coupon booklets valued at $16,000. We began distributing Monday, July 12th, and Friday we distributed the last booklet. So they are all out in the community for our seniors to purchase fresh fruits and vegetables at participating vendors and participating farmers markets. We do not have the redemption rate for last year yet. Last year was a really odd year because, I don't want to say odd, but the farmers markets were closed.
Right.
So I'm sure the rate of redemption is going to be down compared to former years. We won't have these numbers available until next year. So,
Do you have a sense of where the majority of them come from or end up going to? But are they mostly local to Oswego or?
yes, a majority of them, I mean, I would say a majority of them that they are to the markets, the local markets here. We do tell them that they can go to any participating market. Some people will go to the Syracuse regional market because they're accepted there as well. But a majority of them are redeemed right here because of their seniors and the travel issue. I don't know, the state doesn't provide us where they were actually redeemed.
Yeah.
Because the vendor might be at multiple markets, so it's by vendor. Any other questions? So we have been working with the county mobility manager, Monty Flynn, to get a one-time transportation to a farmer market. We're looking at Saturday, August 14th to provide transportation. It's not through the Office for the Aging, it's through the mobility manager, but it is connecting seniors to the farmers market. So it's providing transportation for seniors to get to the Fulton Farmers Market on Saturday the 14th. OFA staff will be at the market to talk to seniors when they disembark from the bus to let them know about the farmers market coupons, if they have them, if they've ever used them before, how to use them properly. They can also utilize SNAP benefit at the farmers market. I think still some people aren't aware that they can use their SNAP card to purchase fresh fruits and vegetables right there. And we'll also work with the actual Chamber of Commerce to have their people there as well to talk to our seniors. They'll have about 30 minutes of shopping and then they'll get on the bus and be transported back to their, whether it's senior housing, which the majority of that's where the stops will be from the senior housing complexes. So we're happy this will be the first year that we've done it. We've worked with them and we limited it to one site to try to see how it's going to work, how much time it's going to be for our OFA staff to be, we'll be registering the seniors to get them to those trips. So we're going to see how it's actually going to operate, and then for next year, hopefully there'll be more busing to more locations and not just be one Saturday. Our senior picnic, it's not picnic, it's a pickup, is Wednesday, August 11th. It's at Retrieval Park for seniors age 60 and older. We'll have a meal that they can pick up, and then if they wish, they can park and then go eat their meal in the park. We're going to reserve all the picnic tables that are in the park so that they're available to the seniors. So you feel comfortable having an actual picnic to have them all congregate right now, especially with the increase in the numbers. We're still very cautious with our population to make sure they stay safe as possible. But we're also going to be giving them a bag of goodies, which will include face masks and hand sanitizer, because we just got a great big contribution from BJ's Wholesale Club, where we have 8-ounce the gel sanitizer and cloth face masks. We'll be giving them up to all the seniors, as well as tip kits and eyeglass cleaner, and a whole bunch of goodies are going to be in the bag for our seniors when they come and get their meal. Puzzle books. So where it won't be the picnic we've had in the past, it's an introduction back into what we can do for next year. And then we're also working with OCO on reopening our Conjugate meal sites. We're going to start with the Central Square location first. We're going to be starting to do the meals August 24th. So we have a little bit of time yet. They'll be able to go in, have their social hour, have any education programs, and then they'll be provided their meal, and they'll leave with their meal. They won't be sitting there to eat their meal just yet. Central Square will be the first site, and then the rest of the other 5 sites will be quick succession after that. We'll work out all the kinks, which might happen at that location. Transportation will be back on the board for them as well. So they had 2 days of transportation previously. They'll have 2 days of transportation to the site as we reopen the sites as well. 1 to 2. And that will also include that stop for grocery shopping that they had previously. So they can stop at the grocery store as well. So I'll keep you all apprised on how well that goes. We did do an informal survey with all the participants that are getting the grab-and-go meals right now to see if they would return to the site, if they felt comfortable. And the majority of the people couldn't wait to get back in to the congregate setting because they just felt so alone. We're isolated, they just want to get back to that group setting. The only negatives we had, our Hannibal site, we had a large number, it increased quite substantially from the previous number of participants because of the grab-and-go status. So a lot of people, we're hoping that those grab-and-go people might come into the congregate site when it was reopened, but they're saying no, they don't want that, they just want the meal. So that's the only, it's not because they're concerned about anything with COVID, it's just that's not what they want to do. They're younger seniors and they don't want to go and they bingo or whatever the case may be. But everybody else, all the other sites have been very encouraging that they want to get back to the congregate sites, back to normal. The only other thing that I had really is I just I'm answering some questions that Dave Turner posed to me. I really want to move forward with a senior center in the Butter Street building. Now that behavioral health is out of there, we received directly, we've already received a grant, notice of grant awards for almost $400,000 for the America Recovery Funds. I'd like to see utilize that funds to do some remodeling and revamping over at the site there to have it be a senior center. So we would have congregate dining there, maybe 2 or 3 days a week. We could do technology training. We could do health promotion, evidence-based health promotion programming, Tai Chi for arthritis, 6 steps to better balance.
Where's that funding coming from again? Is that CARES Act?
No,
The ARPA funded,
yes,
American Rescue Plan
the
funded.
rescue plan, sorry.
But you are getting that specifically to the Office of the Aging.
Yes, we received our notice of grant award.
You have. I thought a lot of that was not for bricks and mortar though.
It's not for build to build. Sorry, Paul.
No, that's right. If you recall, there's two sets of money. So 22 million the county gets. This is separate. This is a separate. There's a bunch of other grant funding opportunities that are being announced as well. I'm assuming this is one of those that is direct for senior citizen program. So what Sarah was suggesting is that we use that money to renovate over there for senior center.
So are we gonna do an internal county lottery for that space or what are we?
Yeah, there is an internal lottery.
I've been advocating for space there for quite some time, but I know that there are other departments as well that need it and want it, but I just want to throw it out there whenever
No,
I can.
I'm sorry.
And
I'm not
some
making
funding.
fun. I'm not making fun of the effort. I just know that there's other people that
I
are
know.
interested in this.
I know, I completely.
Just we're trying to make some levity of a difficult situation.
Roy wants to see a cage match.
Well, I thought we'd do a petting zoo or something.
Well, I bet our seniors would love that, so yeah.
Kidding.
You're gonna be petting the seniors? What are you
No,
talking
kidding.
about?
I did not say that, that was not.
You know, Tim, I want to bring my pet moose in.
Also the recreation, that got fun.
But because they're a population that were adversely affected by COVID-19, and the social isolation aspect of it, and the congregate sites were closed, I thought it would be a good fit to just bring it in. Oswego hasn't had a congregate meal site in over 5 years.
Yeah.
So I thought it would be a good time since there's some funding there. to
Yeah,
be-
and I, you know, I'm back when the Central Square one was running most in Constantia. That was a very tight group of people. They were
Yes.
really dedicated and had a lot of fun.
And that's why we're opening Central Square first, because they are so very
Yep.
vocal and they want to get back together.
Good. All right. Go ahead, Matthias.
So our former director, Jamie Hanna, she has stepped down. I'll be the interim director for right now until there's another opportunity comes up for the director position. I've been so far accredited for our veterans right now. I'm currently working on getting CAC card access. So right now our office cannot look into veterans' progress essentially if they put a claim to file where they is exactly. But I'm in the process of working on that right now. Besides, we also have another coworker, Candace Chinta. She's working in the office with me right now as well. So it's just her and I. But so far, the only updates is just director has moved on.
So her 2 weeks are up now?
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, we'll be in touch, Sarah, as we work on finding a replacement. And good luck filling in the
Thanks, sir.
meantime. Appreciate you doing it. Brian?
Okay, so we did find out recently, obviously through the state, that you guys acted on the resolutions with the funding increases that For our funding stream for 2021, the state informed us that they have brought us back to pre-COVID 2020 levels, which is good here for 2021 in that, as I mentioned before, how we budgeted, that does free up a little bit of money for us. We did extend most of our money for our mini grants in June, so in the board meetings next month, we'll talk about extending additional mini grants as well as some consideration of some in-house programs that we would like to add to. For example, our Camp House program, Zach will be talking later about an event he has coming up there. And our Arts in the Parks program has been really doing well this summer with reaching out to different communities and providing different entertainment. Our schedule has been very full with that. If you follow us on our Facebook page, there's a couple shows this week, including one as we're speaking right now. We do have some additional funding still remaining. If you are familiar with your own community or such that might want to have a show, we can consider to get a different entertainer there to be able to help with however that might be. We're still waiting to get information on our runaway homeless youth money. The state has not allocated the final numbers for that yet, so we're anticipating or waiting anxiously to get those numbers. Our AmeriCorps program was informed that they were funded again, so the new year calendar year will be starting for that soon. And if we're looking to see how the state is getting back to norm, at least for New York State, they are planning an in-person conference in November for Saratoga, so they are starting to do things to that matter. Our Camp Survey update, I'll let Zach get into the Parks and Rec here in a minute. Our Leadership Oswego County Youth Program and Youth Advisory Council programs will both be starting again in the fall. There's an orientation at Camp House for WOSI this month, correct? Yep, middle of August. Middle of August, we'll start getting some students back together in person. So that'll be good. Our City of Oswego programs, we've been busy this summer. Mayor Barlow has looked to have our assistants. We helped with the 4th of July bash, the youth section, and his summer bash he just had this past weekend. We were involved with the youth pieces of that. We're also working on another one. He hasn't announced yet. You'll be hearing about soon. That we'll be involved with that. We just had, or there's a picture hunt coming up for kids that the information is just being released right now, where they have a week to go about and photograph different things throughout the community and then report back on that. That's one of the things that the city is doing, as well as they just did a craft day at Right Back Park that completely sold out. And last year we did that Halloween trick-or-treat at Speedway, and they'll be doing that again this year. So they're busy with that. I wanted to let you explain Parks and Rec here since you're here today. So,
All right, so good things are happening in summer parks and recreation. Starting with Hollis, as you know, we did a 60 kid max per week summer camp, and we're happy to announce that we're going to hit that and maybe trickle over a little bit. So about 420, 423 kids this summer. So we did sell it out, which is exciting. So we had 40 last year, and we were able to jump up to 60 this year. So I think good things are going to come from having just day camp. We'll be able to boost that when we go back to resident camp, and our overall numbers there will be stronger moving forward. This Thursday evening, we're having a family fun night at camp. It was a free registered event, and it is full, so we'll have about 70 to 80 families coming out just for a night of fun, capped off with a campfire, s'mores. We'll be cooking out, just typical camp activities. And it's good because the kids that are coming and the families that are coming aren't camp families except for a couple. So it'll be an opportunity for more people and new people to come out and see the facilities. Rentals are strong at Camp House and Camp Zerby, just about every single weekend this summer. And going back into May, we've had events. This past weekend, we had an event Saturday and Sunday at both facilities. So rentals are strong, and they're coming back after a year of decline because of COVID. Our summer traveling parks program has been doing some great things. We recently wrapped up 2 weeks of our STEAM camp, which is a science, technology, engineering, math camp that we did 1 week at Zerby, we did 1 week at Layton. That was capped at 30 kids, and we were able to have 30 at both locations. So that was a partnership with the Oswego County Teachers Training Alliance. But it's a good program. It's something we're looking to build off of next year, especially at Zerby. I know the staff and the kids seem to have a better time there because they're not in a school setting. They're out in nature, and they enjoyed it. So looking to take that 1 week we did there and build off of it into next year, hopefully do some full summer, or at least multiple week programs out there. I know we had reported or we had mentioned that we were looking to bring our trail crew. We typically have one at Camp House and Camp Zerby in the summer, and they do trail upkeep. Unfortunately, the Summer Youth Employment Program had to pull their crew from Hollis and from the Advanced Trail because they couldn't secure busing, so those kids weren't able to come out. So I think they all got replaced, but they just weren't able to get a bus to come to those locations. So something that we're looking to hopefully have in place for next year. One of the things too that we're working, we just had discussions with City BOCES is a potential future project at Camp Hollis. The parking lot, I know that's been a topic for a while, it being, we have a swimming pool and kids going in and out and crossing through that parking lot all the time, cars coming in. It's not being the safest of locations. So maybe the next project that we take on is potentially moving that to another location to make it safer for the campers and everybody coming into the facility.
The pool?
No, moving the parking lot. Yeah. And then you can envision that space be grassing in the current parking lot and making that like a play pool area there. So that's good things are happening. Going back to the summer parks program outside of the ski camp, they had a summer tennis program out at Footmore Memorial last week. They've been going over to different municipalities and parks in the county. They had a pretty full schedule. So good things are happening this summer for kids in Sioux County. Yes.
Is the busing thing, is that new this year? Has that been an issue
No,
in the past?
I don't know if they've always bused, to be honest. I know they had a bus coming last year.
Busing was through events, Stacy called me about it, so that was good this year.
Is that a COVID thing? Is that a funding thing? What was the issue?
Contract, right?
I'm not familiar with that.
It sounded like they couldn't get the PO or whatever was necessary to secure the bus in time, in a timely fashion, so they weren't able to get them out there. And as such, they just relocated them. That's what I was told. I didn't get much info either. I got like a one-sentence email about it.
Can we get some more information on what happened on that one?
Yeah, that
Whoever
one
needs to.
was the delay in the purchase request going through Munis and getting through the approval process. So just happened to hit vacations and different hiccups that kept it from getting approved on time. So by the time we were able to get the bus in the end, the kids had already been relocated because they were losing hours on the job, just waiting.
But they're still working, right?
Yeah.
Anything else, Brian?
No, I think that's it. We just busy moving along, and now with fall coming, I'll have that report next week.
Before adjournment, I request an executive session for pending litigation involving the Child Victims Act.
You want to do that today here?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't get that memo.
No, there's recent developments as of today.
Can,
Motion to enter executive?
No, right after the department report, I request an executive.
You need me here for the next thing?
well, do you still have an update for us?
I can give you one.
I mean-
Brief.
Well, you're on the agenda next for me, so.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to share that a lot of our waivers are coming to an end. So we had waived the family share and paying for absences early on the year throughout COVID, and that ended at the end of July 31st. And eligibility interviews for cash public assistance are resuming face-to-face as of today, where they have that over the phone. SNAP interview waivers are continuing until September 30th. And then HEAP is still open for 2020, 2021, but the early outreach is going to start opening at the end of this month again. Fiscal reports that we received an increase in our foster care block grant for the state fiscal year 2021-22 of $249,000. So that's a good thing, because we always earn through our foster care block grant allocation. And we're looking forward to begin recruitment for the director of fiscal management as soon as that's approved this week. That's that.
Good. Any questions?
Wanted to give an update. Thank you for the people that asked me about Isabel. She's doing very well. She, don't know, a week and a half ago, she did a bee and it bit her back in the throat. and she developed cellulitis. She was at Cornell for 4 days. She is home, and she is acting more like a puppy again. So tentatively, I get her back Wednesday, and she'll be back in the system again. But I appreciate the emails and kind thoughts that the people have sent.
Back in service as a senior service dog.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look for a motion to enter executive session
Tim,
I got it.
awesome.
For pending litigation. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?